Jesus said this, that be blind gods, that if the blind lead the blind, then they both fall in the ditch. Now you tell me what person, right? Are you going to get in a car with a blind person and hop in a car and allow them to take you anywhere? Let's say all the way from your house to your job. Oh, okay, maybe even down the street. Would you trust a blind person to drive you down the street? No, because they're blind. They may get somewhat far down the street, maybe a little bit. Maybe they can drive a straight line for a little bit. Eventually, they're going to crash into something. Eventually, you're going to end in a ditch. You would not do that. This is what Jesus is saying here. That if you're following a person who is blind themselves, not only are they going to fall into the ditch, you're going to fall into the ditch too. You don't get to not fall in the ditch. But the way that you stay, ditch proof, you got to read this for yourself. And not only read it, let me stop saying that, because I've been stopping like to say just read it, because like we read books. No, it says that you got to study. You have to study this. You just can't read it. You're not gonna get much if you're just reading it. You got to study it. And once you start studying it for yourself, you will realize that God in his infinite wisdom has set things in place to protect us from people like this. God has set things in place to protect us from false teaching, from false teachers, from wolves in sheep's clothing. He has put clauses. There are clauses in here that protect you from that. So if you're feeling guilt, condemnation, shame, all those different things surrounding, what it is that you should do, and you know for a fact that you, in fact, are in a situation where you have a leader who doesn't have any integrity, they don't have any character, they're not displaying the fruits of the spirit, they're vain, all these things, you just checking them off the list. They're living an ungodly lifestyle. Listen, the Lord's not going to just step down and tell you, hey, look, he already told you how to see if they're real or not. But that's contingent upon you knowing what's real or not. You got to read it. You got to study it. You got to know for yourself. It's not that hard. You got to know for yourself. And when you seek the Lord on it, trust me, he will start opening your eyes. He will start showing you what's what. You are under I'm telling you, I'm here to let you know, you are under no obligation to that. No obligation to that whatsoever. No obligation. Don't even feel bad about it. No, you need to get you and your family out of there before you loyal yourself all the way to hell. Because sometimes we're so loyal to people that we're disloyal to ourselves. Sometimes we're so loyal to people that we're disloyal to God. What is that? An idol. You may not want to admit this, but if you're following somebody, right, who is teaching you that what they say is above what he says, that person is your God. Whether you want to admit it or not, that person is your God. You have made that person and allowed that person to become an idol in your life. And anybody filled with the Holy Spirit, first of all, will not teach you anything like that. Second of all, anybody filled with the Holy Spirit would not dare want anybody to worship them or to be God in their life. Because they would know that they couldn't do it if they tried anyways. They would know that they will fall short every time. They would know that they're not equipped. They're inadequately equipped to be a God in anybody's life, not even their own life. You made that person a God. So today, listen, tear down your idols, man, whatever it is. A lot of things can be an idol, but I want to focus on this one thing today. This thing right here. Tear down your idols, man. Listen, do not fear him who can destroy the body, but him who can destroy the soul and the body in hell. There's not a man on this earth that you should be afraid of. Listen, now, we must do things in decency and order, show respect. You ain't got to get all out of, but listen, stand up for yourself. God has not called you to be anybody's doormat. It don't work like that. No, he said the greatest commandment was to love God with all your heart, your mind, your soul, and all your strength, and to love your neighbor as yourself. But in order to love your neighbor, you first got to love yourself. So let's start practicing self-love. It's not about being selfish. No, it's about balance. You need to love yourself. Because how you going to love somebody else and you don't love yourself? That's how a lot of folks are ended up in the situation they're in right now. Because you're dealing with stuff. You're dealing with rejection. You're dealing with depression. You're dealing with anxiety. You're dealing with all this stuff. You've been hurt, treated, mistreated, molested. All these different things that have happened to you in your life have made you susceptible to these type of people. And I'm just going to go out here and say it. These type of preachers. There are some people who are truly filled with the Spirit of God, and they have a heart to win souls, and they are out here really doing the work, and out here, and they have the fruit to show for it, and they really out here, and they want to see people saved, they want to see people delivered and set free. But then there's others who look at the church, and they look at it as a paycheck. They look at it as a career choice, and they treat it as such. They treat it like that. Listen, let the Lord deal with you on these things, on the rejection. I can speak on it because I've dealt with those same things.